Hello, everyone. My name is Brandon Faulkner. I'm an intern for Village Core. For other events like this, be sure to check out villagecore.org or check out our YouTube channel where we upload these daily meetings in case you miss them. Today, we'll be discussing Yahoo Finance, a place where you can look at stock markets, look at stock news, and also keep up to date on the latest in the news, as well as keeping up on the latest of your personal portfolio that you create with Yahoo Finance. So today we'll be looking at a general overview of what everything is. Yahoo Finance is a branch off of Yahoo News, as well as Yahoo emailing, which people are more familiar with, and other things like that. So here, under the More tab that we have currently, we have the local news that you'd typically get and the local things that you would see. So if we were to pop over to yahoo.com, we would be brought to this page. In order to access Yahoo Finance, there are three different buttons up top. There's the news section, there's the finance section, there's the sports section, and then there's the more section. So when looking for Yahoo Finance, the finance button is where you'll be able to access that straight from the Yahoo page or by simply typing in Yahoo Finance into your search bar in order to find the website. Here we can see all the big players in the stock market as well as in just any market. We can see the big players up top with general updates that happen. So we can see the price points of different things like the S&P 500, Dow Jones, Nasdaq. We can see the price of crude oil, gold, and other things like that if you're interested in investing in things like that. As well as the main homepage, we can see different big news that is happening, like the SEC ends crypto drama by approving 11 new Bitcoin ETFs, which is big news for those who are investing into cryptocurrency. We can also see on the side here that we have my portfolio and my markets. So essentially, I'll go over this in a little bit more. But when I create my own portfolio and when I create my own watch list, I will have everything here ready for me to go in order to quickly jump to it, in order to make sure that my finances are doing well and to make sure that nothing is suffering. We can also see the latest research reports as well. So we can see that the Campbell Soup Company is looking for more favorable entry points. We can also see other things like the Hilton Worldwide Holdings maintaining buy and rising the price market. And then we can see some other things. We can also see some more news down here as well. If we keep scrolling, there are more news updates about the different stock markets, different stock players, different companies that are having different things happening. And you can keep up to date on what's happening in order to make the proper decision when you're getting into a stock or when you're looking into a market. Here we can also see the average price or the prices of cryptocurrencies. So here we can see Bitcoin, and some other coins like Ethereum. We can see BNB USD, that sort of thing. So here we can manage the prices. We can also see the change, and then we can also see the change rate that is happening. We can also see trending tickers. So this basically means that we can see the top players of what is happening, and then we can also see their last price, their change, and then once again their change rate. We also have stocks, so the most actives, which are the Tesla, which would be like Tesla, and other companies like that. So we can see their last price and their stock changes, and then their change rate. We can see the stock gainers, which are the ones that are profiting the most right now, which could differ at any moment. But here we can see kind of like an overview of what's happening currently, and then we can see their change rate as well. We have the stock losers, once again, price, change rate. The mutual funds, once again, keep going down the list. Same thing for each one, just a different title and just different stocks that are being shown. So moving from the home page, we have a few buttons up here that I'm going to talk about. We have the finance home. So essentially what the finance home is coming straight to this page, coming straight back to the home page. You can do it wherever you want, access the home page, come back to it read the news, and then as well, we can also see how Americans are feeling about inflation. We can see different investment ideas that Yahoo Finance is recommending, and then we can also look at different news to like build your wealth or keep up to just news in general that is happening within the stock market. I clicked a little bit too far, so let's go back here. So we can see, so we have more buttons up here once more. We have my portfolio. So essentially, let's say I was signed into my account currently. I would be able to sign in up here using my Yahoo account, and I'd be able to look at my portfolio and my portfolio metrics and more. So essentially, this is where I'd come to get a detailed look at about all the stocks that I have under my belt that I am profiting off of or I'm losing money off, losing money on. So here, as we can see in this picture, we have kind of like we have a view of what's happening. We have the average price of the stock that we are looking at. We have the cash holdings, the day change. We have unrealized gains slash losses. We have realized gains slash losses. And then we can also see a bar graph throughout the months of how well the stock is doing or how poorly the stock is doing. We also have the amount of stocks that I'm currently holding. So these could be different things that I might have in my portfolio. We can also look at my different holdings, and we can also manage that price point there and look at the change rates and all that good stuff right there. And then once again, we do have these big sellers here that people love to invest into and love to worry about that are happening here. And then we can also look at our recently viewed stocks, and then once again, just go through, read the news, read other things like that. So here under the news tab, we have a different sort of thing that we're looking at. Here we have general news, we have stock market news, we have economic news, we have earning news, crypto news, politics, the Biden economy, and then of course personal finance news. So depending on what you were looking for, this is where you'd access your news in order to keep up to date on what's happening. So let's say you want to look at personal finance to help you build your portfolio and invest into different stocks so that you can have as much money as possible when you either retire or you just do a little bit of day trading on the side. So you can see the different news, different things that people are asking, like what is a reverse mortgage, that sort of thing. You could study up on different things and learn about them in order to make sure you have the right decisions when you are going into the stock market or when you are handling your own personal finances. So here, if we go back, let's go back real quick. Here we have markets. So this is essentially where you come to look at the different markets and how they are reacting to changes around the world. Since things are always happening around the world, the stock markets always fluctuate. They always either drop, gain. It's really dependent on what is happening. So the factors that you need to look into are what's the weather in a certain country, or who recently just joined the company. Was that company just bought out? Are there any major changes coming to that company? Is the company thinking of a radical new idea of a product they're about to sell? And those will determine whether or not you invest your money into that company or not. This basically goes through a bunch of different things that you need to consider when before investing in the stock market. Thankfully, with Yahoo Finance, they make it really easy to look at that sort of thing and then make the right decisions. So here under the markets tab, if we click here, we have markets, of course, where we can look at the different types of markets that are happening. And then once again, we can read up on the news, read what's happening, and that sort of thing. If we go back here, we can see different stock markets. So the stock most actives, once again, going down this list, we have futures, world issues that are happening. We have U.S. Treasury bonds, currencies, cryptos, and then top ETFs. So if we were to go to U.S. Treasury bonds, we would be able to look at how bonds are doing, as well as the news about bonds and that sort of thing. And then we can also track those bonds if we want to invest into those bonds to get money back later on. Not only that, we have the top mutual funds, we have high open interest, we have high implied, I think this is volume, if I'm not wrong. I don't know where to see that, but yeah. So here we have different lists that you may want to look at, different matching options. You can match these different stocks. You can add them to your portfolio and go through and read them as you wish, and then make the right decision when you have a little bit more information about those. We also have the stock comparison. So if we come to the stock comparison, we can go through, we can look at the price performance. So if I were to compare, let's say I want to compare Tesla against Apple. So I'm looking at the market value of Tesla and Apple. So I'm looking at how much money they're making, seeing as Apple is the bigger company. Apple has around $2.9 trillion, while Tesla only has 740 billion dollars, which is still a lot of money, but Apple beats them. So we can go through, look at the different comparisons, look at how they are similar. We can also look at the technology. We can look at the price performances, the income statements, balance sheets, cash flows, price ratios, and then a bunch of other stuff as well. We can also add more stocks, and then we can also change out these stocks in order to make sure that we have an accurate view as to what's happening. And I just clicked the wrong button again. So if we go back here, we can see under stock comparison, there are advanced charts, which the advanced charts allow you to take a detailed look at about what's happening with the recent stock changes that are happening on a daily and minute basis as well. So here we have when the stock market opened, presumably at 1 a.m., and then we have till the stock market closes, I believe. So here we can see that during the day today, this stock that we are looking at, the S&P 500, had a big rise that happened earlier today at about 3 p.m. and then that slowly started tanking off. So the right time to enter would have been, let's say you woke up at 10 a.m. So the right time to enter would have been here. And then the perfect time to cash out would have been up here at around 3 p.m. We can also get a more in-depth view by actually zooming in. So like I said, you can actually track this minute by minute, I believe. Not minute by minute, or actually, maybe. We can track this. Okay, we can track this by every 5 minutes. So every 5 minutes, this will update constantly, but we can look at the different things that are happening every 5 minutes. Um, so the big things that we are looking at, we can also make different lines. Like let's say you want to connect. Is it going to allow me to do it? I don't think so. Okay, here we go. So we have a few options here. If you are looking at the different price points and the different changes that are happening with the stock, you can use the draw tool on Yahoo Finance. So if you're somebody who's really interested in looking at how a market changed or how a stock changed using these different tools, you can insert them, and then this kind of gives you a detailed look about what's happening. So you can add different lines. You can add different lines that go different directions, so you can connect them to different points, and then you can zoom in on those and look at what's actually happening. There are also different tools that you can use on the side here if you're looking for a more advanced detailed view, or you can look at it as a table, which will allow you to kind of see what's happening, the close, the volume, that sort of thing, if you're really looking into those. We can also see the corporate events that are happening. So if we were to sign in and if we were to have Yahoo Finance Plus, we'd be able to look at more advanced things, which we'll get into Yahoo Finance Plus in a minute. We can look at the technicals as well. So we can look at the short term, the long term, other things like that. We can look at indicators, and then we can also look at comparisons, which all this basically means more money in your pocket if you play your cards right. As well, we can also see the currency converter. So the currency converter with Yahoo Finance is essentially making sure that you are putting your money where you want it to go. So let's say I had 100,000 United States dollars, and I was planning to take a trip to, let's say I was about to take a trip to Chile. Since I am taking $100,000 with me to Chile, I would I'd be very rich in Chile. I'd have roughly $89 million for my trip, which would last me quite a while and allow me to have a lot of fun over in Chile. So, as well, just like we could with stocks, we can also take a look at the currency rate that is happening in different countries. So we can see there are massive dips and then massive increases to their inflation and other things like that. So we can look at it on a day-by-day basis. We can look at it by a weekly basis, a monthly basis, a 6 month view, a 1 year view, and then we can completely max it out and we can see how their currency has done over a long period of time. So this began in 2002, and now we can look at it in 2024. So that is a 22-year time frame that you'll be able to look at different currencies. So moving back here, we have the different sectors button. So if you were looking at different sectors, like let's say you wanted to invest into the energy sector, well, there's a button for that. You can look into the energy sector, the real estate, technology, other things like that. Since a lot of people are concerned about real estate at this very moment, since the housing market is seemingly going down, we can look at real estate and we can see if that's actually true. So we can take a general view of what's happening. So if we look at a day rate, a 5-day rate, 3 month rate, 6 month, yearly, year to date, and then we can also look at a 1 year and then 5 year and then all. So we can look at the day returns, all these different returns, and then we can also look at what is happening in the real estate markets and everything that is going on with them, and then get a detailed look about everything that correlates that correlates to real estate, and then as well we can look at the news that is happening to keep even more up to date on what's happening. So this is where you'd come to look at your different sectors and other things like that. We also have screeners here. So the screeners section would be where you have your different stocks that you are trying to look at. So if you were to, let's say, let's do an index screener. You would put in your value, you'd put in your change in price, and then you'd screen it to make sure that it's the right fit for you, which means, once again, more money in your pocket. Let's go back here. So moving on to personal finance. Once again, that button has come up, and the personal finance is essentially making sure that you are making the most amount of money with the money that you currently have. So we can look at general personal finance like the news. We can look at different things like balance transfers, credit transfers. We can look at credit card rates and what's happening with those. And then we can also read up on a little bit about the news and what's happening with everything and seeing what is the right fit for you, what is the right type of credit card for you, what will get you high in, or what will have low interest rates and other things like that, or if you're looking for a high interest rate, other things like that. So that's where you can go to look at personal finance. So this has personal loans, student loans, car insurance, home buying, taxes, checking accounts, other things like that, to make sure that your personal finances are in order and other things like that. Moving on to the video section, this is where this is where you'd get videos from experts or just from the news in general to learn more about different types of markets that are happening, different things that are happening with different companies and other things like that. So this would correlate to, let's say something big in the news that just happened. A plane door or a plane, the side of it exploding, the plane door exploding and it falling 1,600 feet. Now that might not necessarily be something that is something that we would look at with stock markets. Well, it actually would be because it was Alaskan Airlines. But we could also look at that in a different light. The way we could look at it is the fact that an iPhone was sucked out of the airplane and fell 16,000 feet, and when recovered, was still working. The thing about that for Apple is that that is very good marketing for them, which means more people will be investing money into Apple because they recently just saw the news about that. And that is a very good publicity for Apple right there, which means more people would say, okay, Apple's reliable. More people would be attracted to Apple products over Samsung products because that phone just survived a 16,000-foot drop. And that is astonishing, especially for a phone that people typically view as just falling on the floor and cracking. But since it did survive the 16,000-foot drop, once again, more money for Apple, more money for their investors because it survived. So this is where you'd kind of get those videos about that. So if we look here, we can look at the different videos. We can watch live.
We've always valued the
We can watch live news about that. We can look at all the things that are happening with, let's say, Tesla, ChatGPT, OpenAI, Boeing, the White House, other things like that. We can keep track of that here. I'm in the wrong section again. Okay, so back to the video section, we can get an ETF report. We can get good buy versus good buy or bad buy, which good buy or bad buy is essentially a place for you to come and look at um, the different stocks that are available currently. So good buy and bad buy essentially plays out in the way that you would think, where they give you kind of the advice that you're looking for in order to make the right decision when you are investing into different types of stocks. And then moving on to the final thing here, Yahoo Finance Plus. So Yahoo Finance Plus is Yahoo's kind of way of making sure that there's a subscription service to allow you to have more access to information when buying stocks and when making the right decisions. So if you were to put your money into Yahoo Finance Plus, you would have more access to different types of things. So what I'm talking about is essentially you would have access to research reports, enhanced charts, daily trades, fair value analysis for stock markets, and other things like that. So we have the essential and then we have the light here, which both of the prices are listed here, and there is a 14-day trial. So we can see everything that is here. And then you can also get Yahoo Finance ad free. So this is basically if your whole thing is like looking at different stocks, making sure that you are making the most amount of money out of your stocks and out of the markets, this is where you'd sign up for this, and then you'd have a ton of information right there for you to make the right decisions whenever you are investing into these stocks. So other than that, there's nothing really else to add with Yahoo Finance other than building your own portfolio, which you can monitor, you can add money into, and then as well, Yahoo Finance isn't only on the computer. While it may be on laptops and desktops. It's also on your iPad, and also it's also on tablets, and then also on smartphones, which you can access anywhere you want. So let's say you're just out and about and you want to check up on your portfolio. Well, with the Yahoo Finance app, or with the Yahoo app, that's where you can do it directly in order to make sure that your finances are safe and that your finances are doing just fine and that you are making the most amount of money here. So Yahoo Finance is a really neat tool just to kind of look at the different stock markets, what's happening in the world, especially with finance, especially with money, since a lot of people care about money. And so this is where you come and do it in order to get a detailed view over some other website that might not have as detailed as a view as Yahoo Finance. So other than that, once again, my name is Brandon Faulkner. I am an intern for VillageCore. For other events like this, be sure to check out villagecore.org or check out our YouTube channel in case you miss any of these meetings. Thank you so much for watching.